Hello and welcome back to my channel, everyone. It is your girl Cassandra Olivia back with yet another tutorial, and in this video we're going to do something different. I'm going to be coloring half of my mannequin black just to show you guys how to remove it or attempt to remove it on this mannequin, and then the other half of the mannequin I'm just going to do foils. So the side that you see now, I'm literally just going to apply this Schwarzkopf black hair dye that I got from, I believe, Walgreens or Rite Aid a while back. And it was just sitting around. I bought it, I think, to color a wig a long time ago. Just never used it, so I figured why not. So this will be one, like, educational, but two, to also show you guys what can happen if you color your hair black, because I know a lot of people, when you color your hair black and you hear hairstylists say, like, you know, it's one of the hardest colors to remove. We are not making that up. It can be done in some instances, but a lot of times when you have black in the hair, you never know what the outcome's going to be when you lift it, and that's why it's always a color correction. So here I'm just applying the black. Again, nothing too crazy. I'm going to just apply this all through and then let this sit for about 25 minutes and then rinse. And then what I'm going to do is I plan to do foils on the black side of the head with the 10 volume, just to show you guys how that lifts and what it looks like. And then we're just going to leave the right side of the head as is with all the different blues and yellows that we did previously. And then I'm just going to do a lift on that just to show you guys the difference between trying to lift black versus trying to lift like direct dyes and stuff. So just a fun video, because this mannequin, I've lifted her hair, I believe, 5 or 6 times at this point. She was pink. You guys saw I did the blue. Of course, I made her blonde before I made her pink. Then we lifted that again, and now I'm going in with black and then about to bleach it again. So definitely stay tuned to see the results. But I'm just going to apply this here, and I will be back shortly. And of course, I will link everything down below. But again, this is just a box dye, because realistically, this is what most people come in with. Or if they use a color, it's like, you know, one that you can get in a hair store. So I figured, why not use it for this video, and we can just have some fun. And then what I'll do is I'll show you guys like removing black from like blonde and like brown and stuff like that that doesn't have other colors. But figure we'll just start doing some fun on this channel and doing like a little bit of a different series. So again, with that being said, I'm going to finish applying this and I'll be back in a few. And as you can see, this is already starting to change. It's already starting to get super black. You could tell in the back. And then where that dark blue was in the top, most of it actually lifted. I was actually really shocked, being as though it had all these different colors and blues and greens underneath of the black, and then having black on top. The only part that really gave me an issue were the parts that had that deep navy blue, that Pravana blue, I believe it was. And yeah, so while that was sitting, I just went ahead. I want to show you guys what Framar sent me. You guys know Framar sends me stuff all the time, almost every month, not even almost, sometimes several times a month. But they sent me these cute oh my goth foils that came out, as well as these clips, and they sent me everything that you guys just saw in the box. So I'm just going in. I did shampoo the mannequin out, and I'm using my Framar Let Me Vent brush just to let this air dry. And then what I'm going to do is section the hair. I'm going to do one side, I believe, in this video, and I'll do the other side in another video, just because I didn't want it to be too long. I probably could have squeezed it into one, but I was just like, let me just break this down, because I wasn't really sure what I was going to do. And then just in case it lifted really light, I was like, maybe I'll make this a series. So this is what we're starting off with. Half jet black on one side, and then fashion colors on the other. So now I'm going in with those foils. These are so cute and perfect for fall, also for like the Halloween time. So I was just like, okay, y'all know I love black. I'm a fan of black. I'm just a hairstylist, so y'all know. So I just went in with that and some Redken Flash Lift in the 10 volume. And then what I did do was, I was recording this on my camera, and this is why I like to record on my iPhone, because I didn't realize that my camera had died on me, so I didn't get the back section. So once I realized that, I went in, I changed the battery, but here I'm just lifting up all of the foils so that way you guys can see the placement. All I did was start in the very back section of the head, take small sections, and then I just applied lightener to the full section. And then here I am again, just showing you guys how I stack those. So yeah, did this whole entire section, was looking at the video, everything was going good. I looked back, and then the camera was off. And then I'm like, okay, maybe it saved my video, and nope, video gone. But again, I'm doing both sides of the head, so don't worry. You're just gonna see me finishing up this side, and then you will see me do the full side on the right side. Again, two different results, because this side does have the jet black on it versus the right side that has just the color, no jet black. But again, same type of application. I'm just going in with that lightener and developer, and I'm just making sure to apply that in thin sections as if I was doing a real client. The only thing I'm not doing as if this was a real client is applying Olaplex, because of course you don't want to apply that. It's expensive, for one. This is a mannequin, and two, I'm just doing this for fun. I'm not trying to use none of my like super expensive hair products on the mannequin, you feel me? Unless it's like for educational, like need be. But as expensive as Olaplex is, this mannequin's not getting any of it. And I was actually shocked that the hair did not fall off before we even got to this point, because again, we lifted this mannequin a lot of times. So I'm just gonna finish applying this on this side, and then I'll rinse it out, and then we'll see how this lifts. I don't know about y'all, but when I first started doing color, I used to be really intimidated being in cosmetology school doing foils and color. I just felt super intimidated. And when I first learned, my teacher actually did the old school method with the Kool-Aid, and I just thought that was so cool. Of course, I did bright red because why not? And then after that, once we started bleaching our mannequins and doing color, we were doing like red and orange and just like, you know, turning brown to blonde and stuff like that. But it was something I always enjoyed doing. But of course, you know, when you get out of hair school, you don't always have a ton of color clients and people to practice on. So I mainly focused on doing, you know, just natural hair, silk presses, sewing weaves. I was even doing like natural styles, locks, so on and so forth, and braids, honestly. But I niched down. I really figured out what I wanted to do. And then I decided from there just to, you know, follow my dreams. But I honestly started doing hair color once I opened my salon. I had people coming in to get colored, you know, like blacks and reds and things like that prior to me having the salon, but it was never anything that was super crazy. And then I just felt like once I opened my salon, I really started getting like people that wanted purple, pink, blue. You guys saw the hot pink, you guys saw the neon green, you've seen the lime, you've seen the red, you've seen the ginger, you've seen pretty much all the fun colors now that I'm doing. And so I just felt like, you know, let me get back to this, you know, doing mannequins. I'm very much always learning. And I feel like when you're in this field, you should always try to better yourself and learn. So yes, I have a full book of clients, but yes, I'm on here on my day off doing a mannequin for you guys, just to show you guys, because again, I'm pretty much like trial and error, getting my own mannequins, practicing on whatever I could, watching tutorials, trying to figure it out. So if I can help somebody along the way, so that way you guys don't have to, learn from your mistakes, so to say, that's what I'm here for. But yeah, now that I do foils, I feel like applying them is so soothing. Like I just zone out. I give myself like an hour, 2 hours. I pretty much know how long it's going to take me, and then I go from there. All right, so this is running out of lightener. So I'm going to just show you guys how I mix this in the bowl, because obviously the first part was cut off. So I'm going in with this Flash Lift by Redken. I've been using this for like the past week and a half so far, and I really, really do like this product. And I'm gonna go in with the 10 volume as well. I'll put you guys can see that, right? So it was at, I had to write it on the screen in a second. I'm just too lazy right now. But if you look or zoom in the corner, you can see the measurement. It's in grams, not ounces. I made that mistake several videos because I just wasn't paying attention. But it's in grams. So I just went ahead. You want to do 1 part of your lightener to 2 parts of the developer, and then just mix that up. So I put the scale here just so you guys can see what I'm mixing. But y'all know I just like to eyeball stuff and just follow my heart when it comes to using lightener. Color's a little different, but for me personally, I just like to use the scale, or not even use the scale, but just to freestyle. So here I am, again, thin slices, and I'm just applying this lightener all over. Now I will say, because this is a mannequin, I'm applying the lightener from root all the way to the ends of the hair, okay? Now, if this was a real client, I would not do the roots, okay? So we would do everything but the roots and just do the foil starting off like a little bit under where the foil starts, and then we would go in and then hit the roots last after all of the foils are in. The reason being is, I say this all the time, but whenever you do lightener, you don't want to apply it to the scalp first, because the heat from the scalp is going to cause that to process really fast, and you don't want to have really, really pale blonde roots with like orange ends, okay? So even when you're doing foils, you want to start all the way, mid shaft to ends. Do the full entire foil application first, then either work in sections to apply your lightener to the roots as you apply the lightener, or just do it last. It really depends, but you just want to make sure whenever you're doing color, hit the roots last. The only time I will say that you can make an exception is if you're doing like black or like a dark brown or something. It really doesn't matter if you're going darker most of the times, okay, air quotes. But for the most part, if you just stick to this one rule, I promise you it'll save you so much headache, okay? I can't tell you how many times I've done color in the past and applied it all over and was just like, oh my God, why are the roots so bright and the ends so dark? And once I went to, of course, cosmetology school, I was like, oh, this is why. This makes perfect sense. But of course, had to get my education. So enjoy this application again. I'll show you guys this whole entire side once it's done with the foils, and then I will come back in just a few. And please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and drop anything down below if you guys have any questions. Okay, so now that we're finally finishing up, I'm just going in and applying the last of that lightener. And my part was a little off center, so I wasn't going for a super symmetrical middle part. I just literally wanted to do one side with black on it and showing you guys how to lift it, or attempt to lift it, showing you guys kind of what happens with color and go from there. For educational purposes and research purposes, you know. And then I just wanted to go in and do the other side. So the part's not super straight, but again, this is a mannequin and this is just for fun. So this is the whole application on the, it'll be her left side of the head, but our right. And look at these foils. They were given everything they needed to give. It was given like vampy vibes, and I really thought they were so cute. So I try to have a nice clean foil application. I counted them, but I forget how many were in there. I believe it was 40 or close to that amount. This mannequin head's not super big either. So you just got to take in mind, if you had a client with a bigger head, of course it'll be more foils. And of course, if they have longer hair, then I do have a tool where I can actually customize my foils and make them long. But for this, it was fine. So here I am just peeking in the very back section that I applied that lightener to. And you can already see that it is turning blonde. Now, mind you, the very back of the hair, I did that pastel color as well as the yellow and the lighter blue. So I wasn't really worried about those lifting, but of course, those darker blue colors were not trying to budge, okay? So this was after an hour and 45 minutes of sitting. And then I gave it an extra 15, so 2 hours total, because pretty much after an hour 45 minutes up to 2 hours, it doesn't really like work anymore. This is about as much lift as you're going to get. So again, not trying to do too much, just want to show you guys how it looks when you're pulling color out of one side that has, again, black on it versus a side that doesn't have any color on it at all. So I'm just pulling these foils for you, and then I will rinse this and we'll be back in just a few moments. All right, so I just did a quick rinse out with the shampoo and conditioner, nothing too crazy. I'm not using anything fancy or expensive, not even the redken, because honestly, I didn't want to waste it. But this leaf and flower I did use, but honestly, I have probably 50 bottles of these just at home. So I'm like, let me just get rid of some of this. So I put some volume spray in here. I put some molecular oil and the 7-minute blowout, or no, the frizz remedy, so that way the hair is not frizzy. And then I just scrunched it and then let that air dry. And then I'll just show you guys how it looks. Of course, in the back, what you see here is a little bit of brassiness. So it is blonde, but it has like that greenish undertone. So you have some brass in the hair. Of course, the back is a little bit more pale blonde. In the top, where we had that really dark blue, the black barely moved because it grabbed onto that blue. So this is pretty much what you'll be working with if you had those type of colors underneath. So we're gonna go into the next video and we will start part 2. Make sure to stay tuned.